Hey folks, I'm Dennis. Thanks for watching my video. Sometimes when I'm on my lawn tractor I need to carry things with me. Pesticide, maybe some ant killer or something like that. Maybe my spray bottle for herbicide to kill weeds that are in the curb or in the yards. I've tried carrying things between my feet while I'm on the tractor, but that gets frustrating because it always wants to vibrate off or whatever. So I'm going to make up a small cargo basket using a milk crate, a piece of scrap plywood, and a couple of bolts. I'll show you how I did it on my tractor. So I've got an old milk crate. It's about, I don't know, 14 by 16, something like that. It happens to fit right back here on this ledge pretty well. So if I attach it here, I've still got access to my transmission release lever. I had a piece of scrap 1/2-inch plywood. You could use anything, a piece of 1x4 or 1x6, something like that. This is 12 inches long by 4.5 inches wide. It works out just right to pick up a couple of the bolts, a couple of the holes on this back plate for the tractor. They're not going to be symmetric, but I don't really care as long as it holds that plate in there, or that basket in there. So the first thing I'm going to do to make sure that my plywood doesn't rot too quick or anything like that is to give it a coat of polyurethane or polyacrylic. I don't leave my tractor completely outside. I park it up underneath a porch, but it's still exposed to the weather, so I don't want this plywood to be able to rot too quick. So here's a little trick. If you have something to spray and you want to keep it up off the surface, just use wire nuts as standoffs. So I'm just gonna spray it on the crate, because I don't care if I get a little overspray on the crate. Take your wire nuts and that'll elevate them off the surface. Or then I'm just using a can of Minwax polyacrylic. Give it a couple of coats on both sides and it'll be fine for the weather. Make sure you get the edges. Do that on both sides, a couple of coats, it'll be just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this basket in like so, and I'm going to use this piece of plywood to distribute the load of holding it up against the tractor, and I'm just going to use 2 of the existing holes in the back plate of the tractor. I'm just going to center that up like so. There's a notch right here that you can see through here to see the battery, but I'm going to use the top portion of that notch as kind of my high spot, and then I'm going to center it up crossways, and I'm going to go in, use one of my little short pencils I use in the shop, and we'll go in there and put this board where I want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this hole and this hole to mount to, just because that'll spread it out a little bit. And this one's a little hard to get to because the spring for the deck lever is on that. So I'm going to just take a little short pencil and stick my hand up in here best I can. Get my pencil through the hole, line my wood up where I want it, which will be about right there, and then do my best to make a mark on my wood, holding it steady. Then I'm going to go back here. This one's easier to get to. You can reach it pretty easy. Make a mark there, and then hopefully I got this other one. So yeah, I've got a mark here, and I've got a mark here so I can drill my holes. And what I did with my board too, incidentally, is I just took a piece of sandpaper and kind of rounded off all the edges, just so that I don't, reach down in there from the seat and snag a splinter or something like that. Just something to make it kind of smooth. And then, like I showed earlier, I shot it with a couple of coats of polyacrylic on each side and on the edges. So I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I'm just going to take my hand drill and drill a couple of holes. Probably the smart thing to have done would have been to drill the holes first and then sprayed with polyacrylic. So if you're following my instructions, don't forget to shoot those holes with some of your sealer. I went through my junk screw drawer, and I had a couple of machine threaded bolts that are 2 inches long, and aircraft nuts, and some washers. I want a big washer on the side of the plywood to distribute the load a little bit, and then because these holes in the back plate are just slightly bigger than these bolts, I don't need a real big washer on the back. Now these are 1/8 inch bolts, so I drilled my holes 1/4 inch just to give me some extra room for adjustment and wiggle room. The easiest way to get this thing in here using these holes is to just lift the battery out. You can take the battery out if you want to. You can actually just press it in here and get that side clip out. It's a little bit of a headache with the battery in there, but you can get both clips out like that and then just lift it up. Get that battery propped up like that. Come down here and get your bolts started, or push through the hole, and then you can get your arm down in here, kind of fish around and find it, and you can get the washer and the nuts started pretty easy. And then you can do the same thing with the other one. I already got it started, but that's the easiest way to do it, instead of trying to reach up underneath and whatever. It's a little tight. Then just kind of center everything up, make sure you got it where you want it. Make sure you can still get to your transmission release lever. Then I'm gonna mine are 5/16 and 3/8. So get my hand down in there and get that wrench on there, and then just snug it up. Now if you don't have like aircraft nuts, then use like a lock washer on the back side. I'm being real uncoordinated because these bugs are about to wear me out. I got a bunch of flies out here biting on me. There, nice and solid. Drop the battery back down in there. Good to go. Now you got a nice little basket for carrying stuff in. If I want to put like a little extra gas can in there, I can, or 7 dust. My garden sprayer, a bag of ant killer, anything like that. Now I'm good to go. And if you have smaller things that you want to put in there, like a little hand trowel or something like that, just cut you a piece of 1/8 inch plywood out that fits the bottom of the crate, and that'll give you a solid insert in the bottom so that things won't fall through. So anyway, that's my solution to a little bit of storage on the back of this yard tractor. I hope that helps you, and I hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Subscribe to my channel. Check out the other videos that I have on this yard tractor. I've got a lot of them, from maintenance and setup to some modifications that I've done, minor things, things like that. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you back soon. God bless you.